right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Your weather first forecast features nose-numbing cold early Wednesday morning. The big change that chases the chill away.
Plus tonight, banning books. The proposal, libraries can't buy books deemed inappropriate with state funds. But first, breaking news tonight as St. Louis County Elementary School will shut down after reports of radioactive waste.
The time has passed for testing to occur at Jana Elementary. We have all the testing we need.
The school district's plan to relocate the students.
The decision came down just a few hours ago before a large crowd of concerned parents. Good evening, I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Mike Bush. Students at Jana Elementary will go to remote learning before being placed in new school buildings. Brent Sullivan is live at the school now with what he's learned. Brent.
Well, Jana Elementary will go completely virtual come Monday. There won't be any classes here on school grounds. And then about a month from now, school officials say every student at Jana Elementary will know what new school they'll now report to. A crowd of parents showing up to Tuesday night's Hazelwood School Board meeting, all concerned about reports of high levels of radioactive contamination at Jana Elementary School. Before parents were able to address the board, school leaders had news for them.
The administration will move forward with Jana Elementary converting to all virtual instruction.
Board President Betsy Rachel beginning with an apology for the fact no one here knew Jana would be dealing with this in 2022.
And that this is causing a disruption to our students' education and school climate. For that, we sincerely apologize.
Parents now reacting to the apology and how the matter is being handled.
In August, after bringing you this news and you all deciding not to communicate this to our community, our PTA did.
The very first place that I heard about it was on the news. And it was disappointing to hear that the parents were notified, and which we weren't.
Some speakers say now is the time to band forces working as a team to get past this.
We can debate, your decision process. We are all victims of this waste.
I'm happy that you all have a plan now. When I tell you that I was so relieved with your plan, I'm so happy that you all are considering our babies now, but just communicate with us. That's all we want, is just communication and know what's going on.
Now, school leaders say they will authorize a study of their own, but in the meantime, they also say they want to make sure there's immediate cleanup of any hazardous waste. Classes here at Jana will resume through the end of the week. I'm live in North St. Louis County. Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
Another chilly and windy night across St. Louis. For the second night in a row, temperatures will drop below freezing.
So how cold will it get? Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now with the weather first forecast. Scott?
And it is getting chilly in the outlying areas for sure tonight as temperatures are dropping off, that being caused by the clear sky overhead. Even though we still have a breeze, it's not quite as strong as it was yesterday. Already down to 37 out in Washington, Missouri, 41 in Wildwood and Baldwin. Millstat's there as well. It's 40 degrees in Edwardsville at this moment. And as we look across the region, you notice just to our west, temperatures really drop off. Kansas City, Springfield already near freezing. And we expect to see temperatures plunging overnight into the 20s once again. We were down around freezing or below this morning, so we have another freeze tonight with less wind. It should be 2 to 4 degrees cooler in most areas tomorrow morning when you wake up. There is a better chance of some frost tonight, but the growing season's over anyway. You still have time, as the temperatures are still above freezing right now, to disconnect that garden hose, because temperatures being a little bit colder early tomorrow morning could actually cause some problems there. There are changes happening later this week. We'll talk about that in a few minutes, Mike.
All right, Scott. Tonight, a Breckenridge Hills man is in jail charged with murder. Family says the victim was his stepfather. Officers were called to the 3200 block of Edmondson Road for a missing persons report on Sunday. They found the victim behind a shed, dead from an apparent stab wound. Police arrested 31-year-old Brandon Ramos. According to officers, Ramos asked them to take him to jail or the hospital.
Several restaurants in the Central West End targeted overnight. Tonight, police need your help finding the person responsible. Windows were smashed at Hun's Walk, Wingstop, and Thai Bowl restaurant. Police believe the break-ins are all connected, and there's surveillance video from Thai Bowl. The thief can be seen breaking the front window and then ransacking the counter. They got away with credit cards and a phone. The restaurant says they can't let this drive them out of business.
We gotta keep going because we don't have money to pay rent. That's why we have to open, we have to sell. But we work hard. We work hard. It's not easy to get money.
These break-ins come after thieves broke into Brasserie by Niche on Sunday night. If you have any information on the break-ins, please call Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS.
Election Day is now just 3 weeks away, and tonight the candidates for Illinois governor squared off in their final debate. Crime and the Illinois Safety Act were hot topics. So was education. Republican Darren Bailey claims incumbent J.B. Pritzker supports critical race theory. Bailey was pressed on the curriculum taught at his private Christian school.
That school is not political to me, and I'm not bringing it into this campaign, and I don't know of where that's at, if it was ever in that curriculum, but it is J.B. Pritzker who's bringing CRT issues and cultural issues into our schools. And that has to stop because it's not helping us. Our children are not learning to read and write.
CRT is not taught in schools in Illinois. It just is not. He's making that up. The fact is that when he started his religious school and started teaching these crazy ideas that slave masters were good to their slaves or that women are inferior to men, that's an indication of what he would like to see in our public school system. Why is he teaching it if he doesn't believe in it?
A new poll out this week shows Pritzker leading Bailey by 22 points. Tonight, a proposal from the Missouri Secretary of State could keep certain books and other materials out of the hands of kids.
Our Laura Barczewski spoke with Jay Ashcroft and one of the largest library districts in the state about the proposed changes. Laura.
Mike and the Secretary of State tells me this is all about making sure parents are the ones deciding what their kids read. St. Charles Library officials tell me they agree, but have some concerns about this proposed rule.
Public libraries have always been about free and equal access for everyone, and that people should be able to decide for themselves what to read, see, or view, or for their own children, parents or guardians should be able to do that.
Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft says under a new rule, he wants state-funded public libraries to write out policies and guidelines for determining what books and materials are age appropriate.
So they'll have to take responsibility for those policies. They have to make them public. So that their constituents, so that parents, so that taxpayers can see those.
St. Charles City County Library CEO Jason Kuhl says they and many other libraries already have a procedure in place.
We have a review committee read every one of those challenged items and make a determination. I have not seen a sort of a large problem out there with miscategorized books in public libraries, and so I think from my end I question what problem this is addressing.
Ashcroft says this rule proposal comes from a discussion he had at a library directors meeting.
I used that hyperbole and said, look, you don't have something for everyone. You don't have books on how to be a child molester for convicted child molesters in your library. And I had a library director that said that's because they won't publish them. And they were serious.
Kuhl says while the library district is still learning about this proposed rule, at the end of the day, he's concerned.
I think this could be the beginning of a slippery slope, no matter how sort of innocuous the initial sort of steps could look. It could set precedents for more and more restrictive policies in the future.
Secretary Ashcroft says he wants people to submit public comments on this proposed rule. They'll start accepting those on November 15th for 30 days. We'll have all the information on ksdk.com. Ann.
Laura, thank you. Normandy and Riverview Garden Schools are one step closer to local control. Today, the Missouri Department of Education voted to continue the gradual transition. Riverview Gardens has been under state control for more than a decade. The state took over Normandy in 2014. Both districts lost full accreditation because of poor test scores and financial issues. This change means voters will now get to select 3 new board members in the April 2023 election. Piston Automotive is bringing 200 new jobs to Wentzville. The company was recently awarded a contract with General Motors for parts for the GM Colorado and Canyon trucks. The new plant will be located just 2 miles from the GM assembly plant, which builds both trucks.
Well, he had a season and a career for the ages, and now you've got another chance to see Albert Pujols in person. He's getting the Lifetime Achievement Award next month at the Musial Awards. Named for Baseball Hall of Famer Stan Musial, the Musial Awards recognize the year's greatest moments of sportsmanship from around the country. Albert will be on hand on November 19th at the Stiefel Theater in downtown St. Louis, along with many other special guests for this nationally televised show. And tickets, we're told, are available at musialawards.com.
An alleged serial killer confession. 5 victims, only 4 identified.
These are cold cases, and they're not forgotten.
The decades-old clues investigators hope will finally bring closure. COVID creation? Reports tonight American scientists created a new deadly strain. Why researchers say there's nothing to fear.
We're almost back to balmy for the weekend ahead. The best day for leaf peeping.
An execution date has been set for a North St. Louis County man convicted of killing his girlfriend and her 3 children. Leonard Taylor shot Angela Rowe, her daughters Alexis and Akira, and her son Tyrese in their Jennings home in 2004. He's scheduled to be put to death on February 7th.
An accused serial killer made his first appearance in a California courtroom today. Wesley Brownlee was arraigned on 3 counts of murder, but investigators think he could be responsible for at least 5 murders in the last year. Authorities believe he was about to kill again when he was taken into custody over the weekend.
Local detectives recently brought answers to 4 families when charges were filed against a serial killer for the murders of 4 women 30 years ago. Tonight, the quest to identify a 5th victim continues.
The I-Team's Christine Byers brings us exclusive new details about the mystery case.
While some families got answers,
they told us that they had identified this guy, and we were just in shock. It just was like,
Maryland Heights detective Chris Mcnamara is working for the one family and the one victim who still doesn't.
Do they know what happened to their sister, to their daughter, to their mother?
Mcnamara has been working with lead detective Jody Weber from O'Fallon on unraveling the secrets of alleged serial killer Gary Muleberg. He told detectives he killed 5 women between 1990 and 1991. But he's only been charged with 4 murders because detectives can't find any trace of the 5th victim.
He was a frequent visitor to the Cherokee Stroll, which was referred to in that day, and he would patronize prostitution in that area. He did mention that he might have kept her remains within the package that he created the longest.
The package Muleberg described was a cardboard barrel with a lid.
But he said over time, that cardboard became just, unstable. In an effort to have a more stable package, he bought a barrel, a steel barrel.
The alleged serial killer also says he left the barrel at this car wash along Natural Bridge in Berkeley. Now it's a vacant lot.
He thought it might have been winter because either before or right after disposing of that body at the car wash, he washed his van, washed it of snow. So we could determine at least a season.
Mcnamara tracked down the former car wash owner's son. His father died a few years ago, but he remembered a body being found around that time.
And he remembered it specifically, and he said, yes, my dad was very upset about that incident, but it was not the one on Natural Bridge. It was our location on Pennsylvania at Mallard.
Turns out the family owned another Ramjet car wash in Pagedale. Mcnamara tracked down a former Public Works employee who said he saw the body.
He remembers looking at her because everyone else was looking.
Mcnamara hit a dead end when he tried to track down records. Pagedale police told him old records were destroyed in a flood, and the St. Louis County Medical Examiner's Office couldn't find anything either.
It could be just a typo. It could be maybe it was listed under a different address. If Gary is the one that's accurate and discarded the barrel on the Natural Bridge location, was that barrel ever inspected, or did it go to the landfill?
He's in prison. He's not going anywhere. So why put so much focus on it?
It's just as important as someone that is not in prison. These are cold cases, and they're not forgotten.
Mcnamara says any detail, no matter how small, could break this investigation open. He's asking anyone who might remember anything, even the name of the barrel-making company in St. John, to call the Maryland Heights Police Department. You can find the number along with more information about the car wash on KSTK.com.
Fallout tonight over a new COVID-19 study. Researchers at Boston University say reports claiming they created a new deadly COVID strain are false and misleading. The Daily Mail reported scientists combined the Omicron and original strains to create a virus with an 80% kill rate in mice. But BU says 100% of mice died when infected with just the original strain, so it was actually less deadly. Scientists not connected to this study say research like this is critical in understanding how COVID works.
The public is very rightfully concerned about laboratory research that might generate a gain of function in a virus that might make a virus more transmissive, more dangerous.
Boston University says it received approval from multiple levels to conduct this type of research.
Tomorrow, President Biden will announce a plan to curb gas prices. He's expected to authorize the release of 15 million more barrels from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. The move is in response to OPEC's recent production cuts, which many fear will drive up gas prices.
Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now with the Weather First forecast. Scott?
And it is a chilly one, Ann, out there tonight. We had our first freeze of the year just about everywhere this morning, down to 32 officially in St. Louis. And while we had lots of sunshine today, it was chilly sunshine. And now that the sun has set, those temperatures are dropping off pretty quickly this evening. 32 was our low this morning, nowhere near the record low of 27, at least 5 degrees away. That's pretty substantial. 53 was the high today. Both of those, though, very much below average for this time of year. We've seen our temperatures dropping off this evening. 37 over in Effingham. You've got 35 right now as you head down to Rolla. Salem's 34. That's most likely where we'll see our coldest numbers, down over the Ozarks here. Skies are clear at home. We have the clouds and the showers and even some snow showers up around the Great Lakes into the Ohio Valley. Not for us, though. With the clear sky, winds not as strong as what we saw last night and into today. They're easing a bit. That allows temperatures to drop back into the teens to around 20 degrees in some of the coldest spots. Most of us around the metro will be in that 25 to 29 degree range, but there still will be a little bit of a breeze. And as you know from this morning, when you walked out the door, that breeze hurts when it's this cold, and it doesn't take much. So again, tomorrow morning, wind chills in the teens to around 20 degrees. We go through the day tomorrow. More sunshine's on the way for St. Louis, back into the low, maybe some mid-50s around. Now, as we look towards the weekend, the whole pattern shifts. Got the big dip in the jet stream that's dropping the cold air over us now, but it turns around, moves away, and so we get much warmer conditions in here this weekend. We're back close to 80 degrees or even a little above, especially on Saturday. Saturday will be your peak day for looking for the leaves as they change, because Sunday the wind picks back up. And due to the dry conditions we've had around the St. Louis area, we basically will see these leaves kind of take off, and they'll change quickly and then they will zip along. Tammy sent that to us from the Burbus River, which got me thinking, maybe this weekend, looking at the leaves, float trip. I'm just saying, weather's going to be nice. Water's same temperature anyway, all the time. Spring-fed streams, right? Peak color, it's coming. Right now it's up into Iowa, but we're getting a lot of color around the St. Louis area. This weekend and into next weekend are probably when we're going to see the most color around the St. Louis area. Problem is, you've got the wind picking back up on Sunday, and then we have pretty good rain chances here as we head towards Monday and Tuesday. A better chance of seeing more significant rain than we've seen in an awful long time. One more really cold morning, and then we're going to turn the page and get set for a great weekend.
All right, sounds good, Scott. Thanks. Frank is here with sports.
Well, in this sportscast, you will hear from Craig Berube, Eli Drinkwitz, another fun day in postseason in Major League Baseball, and more pain for Stan Kroenke. Stick around, please.
If you have a tip for the 5 on Your Side I-Team, call us at 314-444-5231 or email 5onyourside@ksdk.com. All calls and correspondence will be kept confidential.
Famous baseball executive Billy Beane once summed up the postseason as a crapshoot. It certainly has been this year in the National League. The teams with 100-plus wins, the Dodgers and Mets, gone. The defending champion Braves, out. And in the NLCS, we have a few wild card teams. Let's go to San Diego. Padres hosting the Phillies in Game 1, and Bryce Harper is hotter than Lululemon. His third straight game with a home run, and the Phillies led it 1-0. Now, that one barely got out. The next one really got out. Kyle Schwarber, 488 feet, the second longest postseason homer ever. Zach Wheeler one-hit the Padres for 7 innings. Phillies win 2-0. Game 5, ALDS in Yankee Stadium. And the Yankees have 2 players the Guardians don't. Giancarlo Stanton, who homered in the first inning, and the Yankees led it 1-0 with that opposite field blast. And Aaron Judge, who homered in the second. The Yankees win the game 5-1, so that means that Harrison Bader and Matt Carpenter are going to the ALCS to face the Astros. So the Blues have some really good-looking prospects. We would like to see them more often. The Note have played only 1 game in 11 days. Tomorrow they're in Seattle, and then it gets busy next week with 4 games. Craig Berube and the boys skated today at Enterprise before they hopped on a plane for Seattle. Gotta like what you're seeing from Jordan Binnington. Great in the postseason last year and the preseason this year. 1-0 so far in the regular season. So how about this crazy schedule? Let's go to the locker room and hear from the chief first.
You know, we get good practice time, which is good, but from a playing standpoint, you know, we play a game, then we got 3 days of mixing again, and that's the way it's going to be for a little bit, so we just got to deal with it.
I guess we kind of got our break towards the start of the year, which you don't really want, but at the end of the day, you're going to go out and play some catch-up and play a lot of hockey here coming up, and we're looking forward to it.
I look forward to this day. Let me set this up. Stan Kroenke is worth $12.5 billion. His wife, Ann, is worth $8.2 billion. So I think they're going to be okay, if you care, and I don't. But today the NFL figured out who will be paying the $790 million to our town for the fraud they committed when the Rams left. Stan will fork over $571 million, and the other owners will pay the rest. Anytime you can inflict some pain on Stan, I'm in favor of it. Eli Drinkwitz put the Mizzou Tigers through some energetic practices during their bye week, and now the energy is amped up more because it's homecoming week. The opponent is Vanderbilt, and the coach says his team needs improvement in avoiding penalties and in the overall scheme, not revamping, but tweaking the scheme.
Maybe 50, 5-man protection is not what we want it to be. So let's focus more on some 7-man stuff. That's all kinds of opportunities and things that we can discuss. But it's not, oh, hey, we didn't ever run this. Let's try that. Like, it's not trying anything. It's pushing in a direction.
Opening night in the NBA, the Celtics hosted the 76ers, and Jason Tatum may not have been at his best in the finals, but he was tonight. A good summer of hard work with Drew Hanlon from Webster Groves, and Tatum was the best player on the floor again. The Chaminade grad had 35 points, and Boston wins 126-117. And that will do it.
To a good start. All right, Frank, thanks.
Halloween candy, have you bought it yet? It's costing you more. The trick to save when buying your treats.
Netflix is making it easier to get out on your own. The streaming service's new profile transfer allows you to move your preferences, viewing history, and save content to a new account. Now, it's aimed at users who no longer live with their parents or an ex-partner or roommate. Netflix, though, will begin to crack down on password sharing later next year.
We're only sharing with our parents those passwords. A new scare for Halloween: inflation. Surprise, surprise. The price of candy is up 13% over last year. A 120-piece variety pack of Hershey's miniatures cost about $2 more. The suggestion is buy bags with more than 200 pieces. They tend to be cheaper per piece.
It's perfect for you. 200 pieces of chocolate.
And a gym membership.
A Florida toddler is going viral because of her creepy baby doll. 3-year-old Briar Beard spotted the red-eyed, scaly-faced doll at a Halloween store and begged her mom to buy it. Mom did and named her Creepy Chloe.
And I cried. And you cried? Yeah, she cried. And I said, I do want it. And I said, okay.
Breyer took Chloe to Disney World, where they were treated to a behind-the-scenes tour of the Haunted Mansion. Halloween, fast approaching. What's Nora gonna be?
She is a police officer.
Oh.
Yeah. How about your grandkids?
Still deciding. I think they're still
That's
working on
good
that.
to wait because they keep changing their minds.
Yeah.
Usually, they always do.
And there you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
Guest tonight, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Camilla Cabello. Start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.